Have you ever really stopped to think what it would feel like to believe you've let down a divine being for thousands of years? Well, today we're going to dive right into that idea by breaking down this incredibly intense prayer from 1956. We're going to look at its structure, its really raw emotional core, and the unbelievable dilemma it describes between humanity and God.
You know, the title alone tells you so much. This isn't just some polite request. It's a gut-wrenching plea. Father, please bear with our unworthiness. That exclamation point is doing a lot of work there. It immediately puts you in a place of profound humility, even desperation, and it perfectly sets the stage for everything that's about to come.
All right, so let's start at the very beginning with the foundation of this prayer, this overwhelming feeling of unworthiness. Because to really get the solution it offers, you first have to feel the full weight of the problem it's trying to solve.
And just look at the sheer scope of this. The prayer isn't talking about some recent slip-up. It frames this whole problem as something stretching back 6,000 years, what it calls a history of lamentation. This isn't just a personal feeling of failure. It's being presented as this ancient inherited burden.
So the prayer itself is structured like a direct conversation. And it's not just one person talking. It's someone speaking for a whole community, a group of people described as thirsting for life. And they're all addressing their Father. Right away, that creates this really powerful dynamic of a vulnerable group together, pleading with their Creator.
Okay, so now we get to the real tension, which is laid out as this painful dilemma. And what's so fascinating is that it isn't just about human failure. The prayer argues that this is a conflict that hurts both humanity and the divine.
This right here really lays out the whole conflict. On one side, you've got heaven, and the prayer says it's in a real bind. It has to work through flawed human beings. But on the other side, humanity is basically admitting, yep, we're the reason for heaven's sorrow, because we've totally failed to be trustworthy partners. It's like a cosmic catch-22.
And this line is absolutely crucial. It suggests a kind of divine dependency, that God isn't some detached being, but is actually bound to work through people, flaws and all. I mean, think about what that means. Our failures aren't just disappointing. They become a direct roadblock to a divine plan.
So once this dilemma is on the table, the prayer shifts into its emotional core. And it's not just a confession of guilt. It's an active, almost desperate request for patience, for another chance to finally earn back that trust. And there it is, the central request. Please bear with us. It's such a powerful admission, isn't it? They're flat out acknowledging that their past actions give God every single reason not to trust them. So they're not asking for a clean slate. They're asking for patience, despite a long, long history of failure. And this isn't some vague, oops, sorry. The plea is built on these very specific failures. The speaker takes full ownership of everything. Their past faults, their irresponsibility, that feeling of being unworthy, and this one is so powerful, their role as the direct cause of God's sorrow.
This really brings us to a huge question, one that sits at the heart of so many traditions. When the stakes are this high, what does it actually take to become trustworthy in the eyes of a divine being, who, according to this text, has been let down for millennia? The prayer doesn't just leave us with the question, it actually proposes an answer.
So, what is the solution? After laying out the problem and making this big plea, the prayer pivots to something really radical. It offers a way to bridge this massive gap of trust, and it involves nothing less than a total and complete offering of one's entire self. The key thing to see here is that this is an all-or-nothing deal. The prayer lays out this path to redemption that just escalates with every single step. It starts with their minds and bodies, then it moves to giving up their very lives, then it includes all their everyday actions, and it all culminates in this ultimate goal, becoming worthy sacrifices. It is, quite literally, an offering of absolutely everything. And there's such humility in this line. They aren't just offering themselves up as sacrifices, they are hoping, earnestly desiring that their offering will finally be seen as proper and worthy of being accepted. They know that even their ultimate sacrifice might not be enough on its own. They can only hope that it is. So let's move into the final section and see where this all leads. If this huge plea is heard and this total offering is accepted, what's the desired outcome? I mean, what does that transformation actually look like in the end?
The prayer ends with this incredible concept, becoming roots of life. Now, this isn't just about getting forgiveness or getting back to neutral. No, the goal is a complete 180. After being the source of sorrow for 6,000 years, the ultimate desire is to become the very source of joy for the Father. A total reversal.
Ultimately, the goal is to become the living, breathing solution to the very problem they started with, to stop being an obstacle and instead become the realization of God's plan, to finally, after all these millennia, fulfill the purpose they believe they were made for.
And that leaves us with one final big question to think about. When a prayer asks for this kind of total transformation, who is it really meant to change? Is it about fixing something that's broken in humanity's nature? Is it about changing God's perception of us? Or is it about something even bigger, about rebuilding the entire relationship from the ground up?